In a previous CounterPro IQ video, we mentioned that wheel bearings are among the most misunderstood components on a vehicle. We talked about Generation 3 bearing and hub assemblies, which are found on the majority of late model vehicles today. In this video, we are going to tackle a few of the most common misconceptions about wheel bearings. Ready to separate fact from fiction? Let's dive in. Myth number 1, wheel bearings last the lifetime of a vehicle. The average wheel bearing assembly can last up to 100,000 miles under normal driving conditions, and some can last the entire life of the vehicle. But bearings will fail prematurely if they are pushed beyond their design limits. Aggressive driving, hard cornering, frequent towing, heavy loads, rough roads can all shorten a bearing's lifespan. Hitting a curb, pothole, or some other object can be the beginning of the end for a wheel bearing. The classic sound associated with a bad bearing is a grinding noise that changes with vehicle speed. A rumbling, growling, humming, chirping, or cyclical noise of any kind from the vicinity of the wheels can also signal a problem. Other symptoms could include uneven tire wear and steering instability. Now let's tackle myth number 2. You only need to replace the bad wheel bearing. Technically, you can replace just one wheel bearing if only one is worn out. However, in many cases, if one side has failed, the other side isn't far behind. Many professionals recommend replacing wheel bearings in pairs, especially in high-mileage vehicles. This ensures balanced performance and prevents uneven wear on the suspension and braking systems. If a customer is replacing a bad bearing, it's a good idea to at least inspect the opposite side to determine if it's showing signs of wear. And that brings us to myth number 3. You can diagnose a bad wheel bearing just by spinning the wheel. A common but flawed test is spinning the wheel and listening for noise. While this can indicate a problem in some cases, it's not foolproof. A lot of times, a failing wheel bearing won't make noticeable noise at low speeds, but will roar at highway speeds. Other issues like tire noise or worn suspension components can mimic the sounds of a bad bearing. When diagnosing a bad wheel bearing, a good approach is to rock the wheel while the vehicle is lifted. The test involves gripping the tire at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock positions and checking for excessive play. A test drive can help confirm the issue by listening for growling or rumbling noises that change with speed. If the noise gets louder when turning in one direction, it could suggest a failing wheel bearing on the opposite side. By understanding the facts about wheel bearings and debunking common myths, you can help customers make informed decisions and keep their vehicles running smoothly. Thanks for being with us.